Hello and welcome to today's science lesson. So first of all, guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps, and close our eyes. When you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Next, we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. We'll begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then let's go down low to touch our toes. And then we can go back up high again. And this time we can go tippy toe high. And while we're there, let's have a wave. And then back down to touch our toes. And then stand up straight. Have a shake, guys. Arms and legs, shake it out. Shake it out. And then for some rotations, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And next, we'll take our right hand and we'll find our left foot. Then left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And then let's have another little shake. Shake it off one more time. And to finish, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So in recent science lessons, we've been learning about a specific type of living thing. A living thing that grows out of the ground. Perfect. What have we been learning about, guys? Plants. So let's write the word plants on the board. P-L-A-N-T-S. Plants. Yes, and in recent lessons, we've been learning how we can put plants into certain groups. And what this is called classifying. Depending on how plants look or how they behave, we can put them into categories. Now, does anybody remember the categories we used last time? Flowering, yes. If a plant produces a flower, it is flowering. But if a plant doesn't produce flowers, non-flowering. Well done, guys, well remembered. So flowering, Flowering. Excellent. And then we had non-flowering, Nonflowering. Excellent. So from the previous lesson, they were our two main categories of plants. Now, can anybody remember any flowering plants? Remember, these are the ones with the colours, the pretty colours. Okay, I got two. We'll take this one first. Rose, yes. The rose is a very beautiful plant. R-O-S-E. Now, can anybody remember what colours can the rose be? A rose can be red, R-E-D, or another colour. Pink, well done. We can have a rose which is red or pink. And then another type of flowering plant, lily. L-I-L-L-I-E. Now, who can remember what colours the lilies are? Yes, lilies are mainly white. I think you can get yellow ones too, but mainly lilies will be white. W-H-I-T-E. And sunflowers, yes. Now the clue is in the name, sunflower. S-U-N-F-L-O-W-R. Now what colour is the sunflower? Yellow, yes. And maybe the very centre, the pollen of the sunflower will be orange. But mainly the sunflower is yellow, yes. Y-E-L-L-W. Excellent. So we've got some examples of flowering plants. Roses, which can be red or pink. Lilies, which are mainly white. And sunflowers, which are yellow. So remember, the flowering plants are the ones with the colours. But then we had the non-flowering plants too. Now, what colour were the non-flowering plants? Green, mainly green, because they've got no flowers. So the colour of a plant is usually green. Fern, excellent. F-E-R-N. A fern is a good example of non-flowering. Moss, yes. M-O-S. Now remember about the moss. Moss is the very small, tiny stuff that you can see grow anywhere. It can grow on concrete or on statues because moss is a plant that has no roots. And then, can we think of one more? Again? Conifer, yes. Conifer is the plant with the sharp leaves that we have to be careful. If you see a conifer, don't try to touch it too quickly because the leaves are quite sharp and they can hurt. So conifer, C-O-N-I-F-E-R. Non-flowering plants, fern, moss, conifer. And these are all mainly green. No colours because they're non-flowering. That was excellent, guys. Very well remembered. And what we're going to do today, we're going to remain with plants and we're going to look how we can categorise them even further. Because what we're going to do today is we're going to look at how long a plant will live for. Now, guys, how long do you think plants live for? 100 years. Oh no, not that long. Maybe 100 days. There are three main categories of how we can look at plants depending on their age. The first category, one year. One group of plants only live for 1 year or one season. When we talk about plants, because they can use seeds and grow, we talk about season. but it also means 1 year. And then the second group of plants will live for 2 years. Okay, so not 100 pakbung, only 1 year or 2 years. And then the final category can live for more than 2 years, 2+ years. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what type of plants live in the different types of categories and how we call these different categories too. What we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation and a video too for our students to understand how to classify plants depending on how long they live for. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation about classification of plants, lesson 2. And what plants can we see in the picture, guys? Sunflowers, yes. You can see how they look like the sun. And the colours are yellow, and inside you can see orange colours too. That's why they're called sunflowers. Plants can also be classified according to how long they live. Yes. In the previous lesson, we classified them based on 2 groups. Flowering, the plants that produce flowers, and non-flowering, that don't produce flowers. But there's another way to classify them too, based on how long they live for. And there are 3 categories. Annual. Annual is what we call plants that live for 1 year. Then there is biennial. Yes, and they're the plants that live for 2 years. And finally, there is perennial. And perennial means the plants that live longer for 2 or more years. And the perennial plants are usually the trees, because the trees are the ones, pakbung, that can live for hundreds of years. So you were right about perennials. And this is what we call life cycles. So we can say there are 3 main categories of plants according to their life cycle. Yes, and life cycle is a term we use to suggest how long something lives for. Like a human life cycle, how long we live for, maybe around 80 or 90 years. But a plant life cycle, a lot shorter. Annual plants are plants that will live less than 1 year. Yes, these types of plants only have 1 season. So when the season has come and gone, these plants will die. That's why they're called annual, because annual means 1 year. Examples of annual plants include corn, rice, and wheat. Yes, these 3 plants here, corn, rice, and wheat, they only have 1 season. That's why they need to be planted often. The rice that we eat on our plates begins in this middle picture here. It begins as the rice plant. And the rice plant only has 1 season. It will grow, it will produce rice, and then it will die. That's why we need to grow them every year, because they're annual plants. Biennial plants are plants that live for 2 years. Yes, so these are longer than the annual plants by 1 year. That's why they're called biennial. And what flowers can we see again here? What plants? Sunflower. Yes, Sunflower is an example of a biennial plant, but there are others. Examples of biennial plants include carrot, cabbage, and onion plants. Yes. Now, what are all these types of foods? Vegetables. Excellent. Well done. So you can see the majority of vegetable plants are biennials. And have a look at the size of this cabbage here. Huge. Yes. A very big cabbage here. What vegetables are these? Carrots. You can see because they're orange. And these are onions. Yes. These types of plants will live for 2 years. So they are biennials. And then the final category. Perennial plants are plants that live for more than 2 years. Yes. So if they live over 2 years, they're not biennial, they become perennial. Examples of perennial plants include roses, lavender, and lilies. You can see these flowers here. The red ones are roses. The purple ones, lavender. And the white ones, lilies. These are all perennial plants. Because all of these plants can live for more than 2 years. So you see here, we have a summary of the life cycle. Annual, 1 year. Short-lived plant. Biennials, 2 years or 2 seasons. The reason we talk about seasons with plants is because plants grow and they grow by season. So 2 years means 2 seasons. And then perennial. They live more than 2 years. Yes. So guys, any questions? That was excellent. Well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint and video presentations so that we can learn about how to classify plants further based on their life cycles. And remember, less than 1 year, annual. 2 years, biennial. And more than 2 years, perennial. And we're doing a flash exercise soon for our students to develop their understanding. But first of all, guys, time for our stretch sequence. And for this, we'll have a game of Teacher Says. So listen carefully. Hands on head. Teacher says, touch your knees. Teacher says, touch your shoulders. Teacher says, arms in the air. Arms down. Teacher says, arms down. Arms up. Arms down. Teacher says, arms up. Teacher says, turn around. Teacher says, turn back the other way. And then back the other way. Excellent, guys. Teacher says, arms down. And then teacher says, stand on one leg. Teacher says, swap. Swap. Teacher says, stand on 2 legs. Down into a little ball. Teacher says, down into a little ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teacher says, jump. And teacher says, sit down. And teacher says, it's now time for our flashcard activity. So what we need to do first, teachers, is we need to have our 3 categories of classification on the board. So guys, a plant that lives for less than 1 year is called annual. Yes. A-N-N-U-A-L. Annual plants less than 1 year. But then, some plants live for 2 years. And what do we call them plants? Biennial plants. Yes. B-I-E-N-N-I-A-L. So remember, annual plants, less than 1 year. Biennial plants, 2 years. And then some plants live for more than 2 years. And we call them perennial plants. P-E-R-N-N-I-A-L. Perennial plants. So altogether, annual, biennial, and perennial. What we're going to do now is we're going to have our students demonstrate their understanding by placing the pictures of the plants in the correct categories and writing the name of the plants too. So teachers, what you'll need to do is print out the flash sheets for this lesson and cut the pictures of the plants into individual pictures. And then, when you have your 3 categories, we can present them to our students. So let's see who can go first. First picture. The first picture can go to Nadia. So Nadia, come forward and show class your picture of your plant. And let's see. What do we think this is? Can anybody remember what type of? Cabbage. Now, how long did the cabbage live for? What? 2 years. Excellent. So what type of plant is a cabbage plant? Biennial. Well done. So Nadia, you can place the picture here. And now, let's help Nadia with the spelling of cabbage. C-A-B-B-A-G-E. Excellent, Nadia. So we can say cabbage plant, biennial plant, because it lives for 2 years. Nadia, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Nadia, please, guys. So teachers, you can see the activity that we're doing in our classroom now. You can pause the video and play on in your class for the next 10 minutes or so. And remember to use a different student for each flashcard if possible. And then have the class practice speaking together. We're going to carry on playing here now. So next picture, let's see. Next picture, let's see. Who can we give it to? I know we'll give it to Chew. This time we'll give it to Chew. So let's see what picture we can see on Chew's flashcards. What can we see here, guys? Corn. Excellent. Well remembered. Now, who can remember how long does corn live for? The corn? Less than 1 year. So that means corn is a annual plant. Excellent, Chew. So we can place it in that category for less than 1 year. And then let's help Chew to spell corn. C-O-R-N. Excellent, Chew. That's brilliant. Just a little bit less of a head on N so it doesn't look like a H. And then we can say corn plant, annual plant. Chew, that was brilliant. High five. Big round of applause for Chew, guys. Okay, so now next picture, next plant. And the next one can go to Prel. So let's see what type of plant Prel has. Can you show it to your friends? Does anybody remember what type of plant is this? Pretty purple colours. Lavender. Yes, this is the lavender plant. But can you remember how long does the lavender plant live for? 3 years. 2 or more years, yes. So that means it's a perennial plant, more than 2 years. So Prau, which category? That's correct. Excellent. And now we'll help Prau to write the word lavender. L-A-V-E-N-D-E-R. Perfect, Prau. So we can say together, lavender plant, perennial plant. Excellent. Prau, that was very good. Well done. And a round of applause for Prau too, guys. Okay, so now let's see who can go next. And the next picture is with Pat. So Pat, bring your flashcards to the front of class. And let's see what picture Pat has. What do we think, guys? Wheat. A bit similar to rice. Looks quite similar, the rice plant, but this is the wheat plant. Now, how long do we think the wheat plant lives for? Less than 1 year. So what type of plant is that, guys? Annual plant. Well done. So Pat, you can place it in that category there. And then let's help Pat to write the word wheat. W-H-E-A-T. Excellent, Pat. Well done. So we can say wheat plant, annual plant. Every year we have to grow the wheat plants. Pat, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Pat. Okay, so 4 pictures, but still 5 to go. Each category will have 3 different plants. And now it's Lakgau's turn to show us her flashcards. What plant will Lakgau have? What do we think, guys? Rose, yes. We can see the rose plant because of the flowers. The pretty red flowers are the roses. But how long does the rose plant live for? Not 2, a little bit more than 2 years. It lives for more than. So what type of plant does that mean, the rose? Perennial, yes. So let's help Lakgau to write the word rose. R-O-S-E. And that means rose plant, perennial plant. Lakgau, that was brilliant. High five and a big round of applause for Lakgau, please, guys. Okay, next picture. Let's see who can do the next one. What plant is this? Onion. So, I will do this one. Who can tell me how long does an onion plant live for?
2 years.
That's correct, Lakgau. This is an onion plant. An onion plant will live for 2 years. So what type of plant is an onion plant? Biennial, yes. Biennial means for 2 years. So, who can help me to spell onion?
O-N-I-O-N.
Excellent. And we can say onion plant, biennial plant. That's for me to do too, because we have 8 students and 9 pictures. Teacher gets to play 2 today. So now, our next picture for our next student. And now, it's time for Bangpon to come forward and show us his flashcard picture. Let's see if we can guess what type of plant Bangpon has. Okay, so what can we see, guys? Carrot. How do you know they're carrots? What colour? Orange, yes. You can see the orange colour of the carrots. Carrots are vegetables. How long does the carrot plant live for? 2 years. So that means biennial. So Bangpon, if you can place it there, and then let's help Bangpon to write carrots. C-A-R-R-O-T. Perfect. So we can say carrot plant, biennial plant. Bang Pon, that was excellent. High five and a big round of applause for Bang Pon, please, guys. Okay, so we still have 2 more pictures to do. Next, it's Net's turn. So Net, can you bring your flashcard forward, please? What can we see on Net's flashcard? Here we have rice. Now, can we remember about rice? How often does rice have to grow?
1 year.
Every year, yes. So that means rice is an annual plant. So Net, can you, excellent, well done. And then we'll help Net to write the word rice. How do we spell rice? R-I-C-E. Excellent, Net, well done. I-C-E. Perfect. So we can say rice plant, annual plant. Perfect. High five and a big round of applause for Net, guys. And we have 1 picture left and 1 more student to do it. So let's see what we have. And now the picture is with Pak Bung. So our final plant, what type of plant can we see on the flashcard? We can see a lily. Yes. Now how long do lilies live for, guys? 1 year? No. More than 2 years, Lakgao. Excellent. So that means lilies are perennial plants. And Pak Bung can place it into the correct category. And then we can write lilies. L-I-L-L-I-E. Lily plant. Perennial plant. Excellent, Pak Bung. So that's a high five and a big round of applause for Pak Bung, please, guys. So now we've correctly sorted our plants into categories based on how they live or how long they live for. So let's practice speaking 1 final time. Annual plants, rice, corn, wheat, 1 or less than 1 year. And then biennial plants, cabbage, onion, carrot. They will live for 2 years. And then perennial plants, lavender, rose, lily, will all live for more than 2 years. And guys, that was excellent. Very well done. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, print out a worksheet for each of the students in your class. And what our students need to do is they need to read each of the 8 sentences. And each sentence has a word missing. That missing is contained in the word box. They have to read the sentence and choose the correct word and write it to complete the sentence. But what's the first thing to do, guys? Write your names on top. And give our students around 10 minutes for this activity and help them with anything they need. So Chu, for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pat, here's yours. You're welcome. Nadia, for you. You're welcome. Ned, for you. You're welcome. Lakgao. Preo.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. And Pangpon, for you.
Thank you.
So guys, names on top, and then have a go at answering the questions with the correct words. And the first question, how many categories of plants have we learnt about today? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 categories. 3 categories of plants according to how they live. And then, which plant lives for less than 1 year? What type of plant lives for less than 1 year? Annual plants, yes. Less than 1 year is an annual plant. An annual plant, yes. So, Chu, what do you think? How many categories of plants have you learnt about today? Pat, how many categories of plants have you learnt about today? There are. How many? Can you see on the board? 3, yes. So there are 3 categories of plants. Biennial, 2 years, yes. Remember, annual, less than 1 year. Biennial, 2 years. Perennial, more than 2 years. Yes. So you have your vocabulary in your word boxes, guys. Correct, well spelt. You can see here the spelling biennial. And then for more than 2 years, perennial. So something is an example of an annual plant. So where can you see the annual plant? What do we think? Annual? Rice plant. So a rice plant is an example of an annual plant. Lives for less than 1 year. So what do we think? Correct. Plants can produce flowers with many beautiful colours. So the next one, so number 3, what plant lives for 2 years? So annual, 1 year, net, 2 years, biennial. Yes. So find the words in your word box for biennial. So annual plant. What do we think is an annual plant? Rice plant, yes. Rice plant is an annual plant. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to write the missing words for each of the sentences in the correct places based upon the information they have learned in this lesson. And my students here all did an excellent job, so well done, guys. And that's the end of today's lesson, so we hope you've enjoyed it and found it interesting. And now know, annual plants are those that live for less than 1 year, biennial plants live for 2 years, and perennial plants live for more than 2 years. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Bye-bye. See you next time.